like I said, I have a great boss. And a couple years ago, I had an idea for the 40th anniversary to produce the documentary Live from New York. And sort of went to Lauren and said, look, I have this idea. I'd love to run it by you. And he said, sure, do it. And so I worked with a couple other people on that, and we produced this film, and it was great and interesting. And I think that led one thing to another, and Lauren eventually was like, hey, I think you should be a producer on the show. And he said, you do the job of a producer and anyway, so I think we should make you a producer. I was like, really? But I don't I don't see, I'm the costume designer, yeah. I'm like not producer. But here's what I will say to most people about, so when I had produced this documentary, it was at Tribeca Film Festival, and so there was a luncheon, and I was sitting at a table, and this woman who was a producer turned to me and said, wow, you produced that, but you're a costume designer. And I said, she goes, isn't that a stretch? And I was like, well, no, actually, because the costume designer is the only person on the entire production of every show that knows everything that's going on. They know what the budget is, they know what the scripts are, they're dealing with the actors, they're dealing with the directors, they're dealing with the other producers, they're dealing with the set designer. They know everything of the entire production, what's happening. And so as a producer, that's what you do. You have to know everything that's going on the show. And so she's like, oh, okay, yeah, I never thought of it that way, but I guess you're right. And so I think because I was doing a lot of that hand-holding, and I work a lot with the host, and I'm there with the week and helping them with the scripts and realize their characters. And so I think eventually Lauren was very generous and was like, look, I think it's time that you become a producer on the show. I was like, no, I don't want that. I said, but I'm the costume designer. I don't want to be the producer. So it's like, it's not one or the other. You're going to do both jobs. I went, oh, if I got to do both jobs, okay, great. I'll do both jobs. I'd rather do two jobs than one job.